Hey there, listeners, and welcome to Film Jot Review's Godzilla, King of the Monsters, sequel to Godzilla 2014. This time with a different director, Michael Dougherty, known more for doing small-time horror films such as Krampus in 2015 and one of my personal favorites, Trick or Treat. Now, this movie picks up 5 years after the desolation of San Francisco from the first movie, where we find that government organization Monarch has isolated and kept watch on more possible monsters from rising, or at least until another organization decides to forcefully take control and release those other creatures, which in turn causes Godzilla to resurface to attempt to dominate these monsters and become their king. Whether or not you were a fan of the first film, this movie does fulfill on its promise to bring more monster v monster sequences and, of course, Godzilla back to the big screen. However, this is where I'll argue quality over quantity. Within the first 2 acts, we get about 2.5 monster-ish fight sequences, which, aside from the low lighting, have great CGI in them, with a few shots that brought me chills because of how visually interesting they were. However, these sequences would constantly cut away to show characters in and out of peril, and then cut back to see a quick bite or jab and scratch or projectile coming from the monsters. And it keeps doing this to the point that we don't get to really focus or appreciate what is going on. Then, before long, it all ends. And we go back to stretches in time of characters trying to figure out what or where to go. Even into the third act, we continue to cut from big fight scenes to characters in peril. And don't get me wrong, the big ending was good at best. Definitely visually superb, but never had any great moments where you root for either side or really jump and cheer. Not like the former film, where at the very least viewers had a great shot of Godzilla upchucking plasma into the throat of another creature. This third act kind of just comes, stays, then goes. Almost like a Transformers film, when we needed something more like the dinosaur fight from 2003's King Kong. Moving away from CGI and action, the acting in this film is fine, more or less from a script that doesn't give enough to do anything with. The script struggles with, one, having to rationalize characters or group decisions on why we should go from point A to point B from the most conveniently simple way, and two, having too many characters with no purpose. The movie stays close to a family of 3, with the parents having conflicting viewpoints, but instead of jumping all in on that or anything else, the movie has about 7 other characters that it wants you to acknowledge and hopefully remember for whatever gosh darn reason, making jokes or points and stealing screen time from really anything else that could be going on. I can only rationalize that they kept making more characters to jump in during discussions to help fluff up the runtime, which is already at 2 hours and 12 minutes long, and I bet we could have shaved off at least 12 minutes and make it a nice, simple, and even 2 hours. It was so disappointing having an abundance of people instead of honing in on the ones that are supposed to matter. Without giving anything away, 2 of the characters end up sacrificing themselves because I don't know, plot stuff or bad to sad writing. Either way, characters die, and as a viewer, you don't care because no one got what they deserved as characters for us to connect with them, to even care that they won't be around for a sequel. And I refuse to feel remorse because a film wants me to. If you want people to care, then write a character that we can care about. If you're going to have a movie where everything is random fluff until the CGI parts, then you're no better than the Transformers garbage we get every 3 years. And God knows we don't need another series like that. Overall, I'm on the fence about this movie. It's not horrible. The care in the CGI sequences puts it over a Transformers movie, but still not great enough of a film. And because of the cinematic grandeur of the movie, I typically would tell people to make sure to catch it in theaters, but I'm also not comfortable saying it's a must-see movie. And with Godzilla vs. King Kong already in development, it's not like the studio is waiting to see if this movie does well to continue making more. So, I really don't know. If you like giant monster movies or even just Godzilla, then sure, go watch it. You're gonna get it. If not, but you still decently like the trailers, then I'd probably suggest to wait till it comes out, watch it at home with a pizza, some booze, and a good pal. Either way, this movie is more of a one quadrant kind of film and doesn't lend itself to new viewers, and I think that might end up biting them in the rear. Anyways, there we have it, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Make sure to let me know what you thought of the film over on Twitter at FilmJot or Instagram at film_jot. And in case you didn't notice, I'm trying out a new layout for recording. So if you don't care for it, make sure you let me know. If you didn't notice it, tell me that too. And if this was your first video, then really cool. Definitely let me know what you thought. Thanks again to anyone for listening. And until next time, this is Film Jot. Stay friendly, you guys.